I'd rather go back and talk to my younger self.
Mm. So what age would you go to?
I'd probably go back to 5th grade.
Yeah, 10.
Um, and so I was probably about 9 or so, 9 or 10 years.
Right? With 9-year-old, fifth grade Katrina, listen to 40-year-old Trina now.
Probably. Because I go back right to that moment when I realized, because I was at 5th grade graduation.
Mm.
I was the only kid at 5th grade graduation that had no parents there.
Mm.
Nobody was there. And I never forgot that. I've never forgotten that. And it was the way I felt. Um, it's always just kind of stuck with me. Um, and so I go back and talk to like my 5th grade self and just be like, yeah, this kind of sucks, but you're all right. You're going to make it. You're going to be something great.
Mm.
You might not know it now. And even though it hurts and you feel like that right now, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful people. I'm your host, Drake, B. Drake with Everythang Culture, and we're back with another Makings of You. And we have the pleasure introducing Katrina with y'all today. Katrina, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Can't complain. Okay. And I just asked if you listen to the show. Y'all, she have it. And we okay with that, with the Makings of You. We like someone that's fresh, we get into it. But we gonna get to know a bit more about Katrina, background, upbringing, perspective on life, because this is the makings of her. So throughout this process, Katrina, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. But we just got a list of questions. It's about 30 of them.
30 questions. I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
All right. I got some tissue if you need some. It may not. It may not.
I don't know. Let me have some on. Let's get some on deck just in case.
Okay,
I don't know.
grasp on the moment. But really, this is just a conversation about you. I'm telling you, ain't nobody can tell us about Katrina like Katrina can tell us about Katrina. And is that what you like to go by today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only my friends call me Trina.
Okay, Trina. Well, I'm gonna keep it. Well, we gonna keep it Katrina, and maybe by the end of this, we may be at the Trina level. Okay.
So let's see what happens.
And you can hit I know you know the first name, the full government, but you can hit me with this Drake on here. That's how we do it. But let's get into it. So
let's go.
First question, Katrina, how would you describe yourself?
I feel like I would describe myself as a person that has a tough exterior, but I'm really soft and squishy inside. But you got to peel back the layers, when you have to grow up like I did, you gotta be able to survive. So you gotta be tough. But I'm a giving individual. I love people, so people like to take advantage of that though.
You ain't lying about that, but we appreciate it. So, what cultures do you represent?
What cultures do I represent? It's a good question.
Thank you.
That is a good question. And I rarely get a little bit stumped because I'm like, I got a lot. I think, I know this is going to sound crazy. I think I just am a representation of myself. I am the culture of me.
Woo.
I haven't met anybody quite like me. And I think that That's what I'm gonna go with today.
I like that. I like that. Okay, okay. So, where are you from? Where do you represent?
Where am I from? I'm a Washingtonian. I am born and raised in the 206 in Seattle, born in the Central District,
Mm,
raised in the South End.
mm.
And, after that, I kind of was a little bit everywhere. But I am from the Emerald City.
Oh, okay. Represent. Love it. Love it. Love it. I see why she got that green in the back.
Green.
Okay.
The green is my color from the Emerald City, born on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, green.
Okay, we got some B Day coming up. B Day coming up. Okay, since we talking about birthdays, we got next two questions. Go hit on those. So, I'm from the South. This is always a hard question for me. But do you mind sharing your age with us?
I am 40 years old. I'll be 41 on the 17th.
Love it, love it, love it. So, what is your sign?
I'm a Pisces, baby.
Okay, okay, okay. Water. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That fish, that good, like I'm
Yeah.
slow to anger, but when that other one comes out, boy, it's out. But it takes a lot to push me. You gotta really keep on pushing before you send me over the edge.
Okay. I would say I know another Pisces. You don't act like the rest of the Pisces. I know some of them are pretty much passive, but you stand up for yourself.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am not a doormat at all.
Okay, I love it. But thank you again. Once again, if y'all are tuning in right now, we are listening. Well, you are listening or watching the makings of Katrina. Thank y'all for being here. So, how would you define your childhood and upbringing?
Mm. Well, there were good moments, but I grew up kind of rough.
Mm,
Um, both of my parents had substance use disorder. Um, I grew up in and out of shelters and things like that. Um, Sometimes having a lack of food. Um, going with my mom to the food bank and things like that. Seeing a lot of violence in the home. But then on the flip side of that, having grandparents that were affluent individuals, kind of like I didn't understand why I did have to go through some of the things I went through.
mm,
So we go on like camping trips and things like that. So but it was rough. It was rough. The Central District now is not the Central District like when I grew up, where there was lots of gangs and violence and all that sort of kind of stuff. We didn't have no Whole Foods.
mm. I always find that unique from me being new to the area I'm on right near. I remember when I first moved here, people was like, I used to say, I came here, I remember the movers. I was like, so where the hood at? They're like, you in the
You
hood.
in it?
I like,
When I turned the corner, I was like, "Oh, he in the hood." Oh,
yeah, I'm like, not hood. It feels hood adjacent now, but when I started communicating with more Seattleites about the community and the rapid um, gentrification, I started learning more. Like, okay, this is like honestly historically black, and I can
mhm.
imagine how difficult it is to see that transition because now it's not
It is
that.
not that. It is not that. I mean, and believe it or not, I mean, Seattle, like, I mean, I grew up in the inner city, so it was all I saw was black folks where I was, right? But Seattle has only really been about 7 or 8% black. But
Mhm.
how do we account for 67% of the folks, in jail and stuff like that, with only being 7%? So there is that.
Disproportionality. We'll talk about that quite a bit on Everything Culture. But back to you. What were the roles of your caregivers coming up?
Um, when I got shipped off to Bellevue, um, because both of my parents kind of checked out of parenthood in about fifth grade. When I was in about fifth grade, so I got shipped out to Bellevue after I almost got my head blown off by the Seattle Police Department when they did when they raided my house. Um, Moved out to Bellevue, culture shock. I was like, "Where are the black people?" Um, and so my stepdad, my little sister's dad, he was a provider. He worked all the time because he ended up having to take in 3 kids that weren't his own, which are my other siblings. So
Thank you, thank you. Once again, anytime you need me to pause anything, let me know. But these are the same questions we ask everyone. But we
okay.
do appreciate your transparency with us. And actually, our next questions, do you have any siblings, and where do you fall with your sibling?
I do have several siblings, but my mom only has 4 kids. My oldest brother, rest in peace. He passed away in 2013 from a drug overdose. Um, and then there's my big sister, who's only a year and a half older than me. And then I fall in line, and then I have a little sister. But my dad was, he was a Rolling Stone, so he had lots of extra kids.
Totally understand that. I got one of those as well. But we do appreciate you once again transparency and sharing the family and the siblings. So you kind of like are you
I'm in the
I was
middle.
about to say you're right in the
I
middle.
thought
Okay.
I was gonna be the baby, and then all of a sudden, I ended up with a little sister, and that was that.
It be like that sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. So what was your first sense of responsibility?
um, I think I've always felt a sense of responsibility ever since I can remember, um, because I was always the athletic one in my family. So my mom would always have me go with her to like get food and do all these other sort of kind of things. We didn't have one, but I was also the person that um, would end up running the drugs and the money back and forth too. So I always had a sense of responsibility.
Mm, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How did you feel about your education in your life?
I felt like if I had the a support system that I would be in a different place. I was a really good basketball player, but I didn't make the greatest choices.
Mm,
Uh, and so I let my scholarship go when I probably should have gone on to play ball in college.
mm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, was it only basketball you played?
I mean, I played basketball, I played softball, and things like that, but basketball was my sport.
Did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
You still got it in you?
I do actually. I do, and I coached for many years. Lots of kids will call me Coach K. I coached through Metro Parks in Tacoma for years, and I coached AAU basketball for boys and girls. So
Okay, okay. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you. So, what was your first job? Taxable job.
my first job was at this factory called American Linen,
Mm.
and I think I was getting paid like $6 an hour or something like that. That was crazy.
I,
I didn't even get my first job till I was 18.
okay, okay. I was gonna say, I don't think people understand. Like when I be thinking of my first job was 5.15 or something like that. Uh, uh, and it's still minimum wage still 7.25 or 7 something in Texas, but uh,
Yeah, down south and it's in Virginia, it's still
yeah,
low like that too.
yes, yes, yes. So, how were you disciplined growing up?
Well, my dad didn't believe in whoopings, so he we didn't get any of those from him. My mom, I would say every now and then, so I didn't get like spankings and whoopings like that. My stepdad definitely served out a few of those,
Okay.
all well deserved. Um, I was a little bit wild. But yeah, I mean, it didn't kill me. It made me stronger.
Hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, what are and what were your beliefs?
As it pertains to what?
It's open-ended question.
My beliefs. I mean, I'm a Christian. Um, I believe in God. I believe that He is my Lord and Savior, and I would not be here without Him. Although, we had to have some tough conversations because I'd be like, why? Why you give me two parents like this?
Mm,
Um, but and so I mean, I believe in God. I believe that you should treat people the way you want to be treated. Um, and I believe that you should love on people.
mm.
So that's kind of how I try to live through this world. It make it hard sometimes, though.
Ooh, ooh. We can talk a whole. Welcome to Everythang Culture, by the way. This is a strong reason why we do what we do here. It's a great need. I would say one of my favorite songs is Stevie Wonder, "Love is in need of love," and it's so real.
Yeah. I
Goodness.
think that's what's wrong with a lot of people. It's a lack of love. If you've never been genuinely loved, and I think those people, it's hard for a lot of people to even see that someone genuinely cares for them because they're so used to people treating them badly or treating them a certain way that when they have genuine people in their life, they don't even know how to receive it.
Mm,
Um, and that goes for like relationships and whatnot. Like you be like, I pray to have a good woman or man or whatever, and you have one in your face and you don't even know what to do with them when they're there. Maybe you should have, really did a little more nuts and bolts when you were praying and got real specific because you got what you asked for and you don't even know what to do with it.
mm. Look at you sharing your clip for the episode. The intro. Okay, okay. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Next question. What? Well, who has been the biggest influence in your life?
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I've just had like lots of people along the way. Um, I don't really feel like there's any one person that has stuck for a long enough time to really like influence me
Mm,
and really change the way I think and the way you know what? That's not true. My ex-wife was actually she made me a little bit softer.
mm,
I would say that because I mean my mouth used to be real cutthroat. Um, and so I would say that she didn't receive that well. And so it made me do like some in depth analysis with myself and really change how I speak to people
mm,
um, because words actually hurt. And sometimes it's the tone of what you're saying and things like that. And so I would say that that is one of the things that it changed me for the better, um, especially in like the world and the jobs and the things that I do now. And so I'd say that
okay. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I
All right,
like it.
all right, all right. See, we rolling, we rolling. So, hobbies. What do you have, and how did you get into them?
So one of my hobbies is traveling. I like to travel. I like to go somewhere. I like to chase the sun because
Mm,
clearly we don't have none right now. Um, and I'm always cold. So I like to chase the sun and experience different places. And wherever I go, I was like, well, where is the hood? And that's where I want to go. I want to be where the real people at. And I don't want to see all the touristy stuff. That's great, blah. But take me where the real people at, and you're gonna find real people in the hood. So that's why I like to go to the hood. And my other hobby is shoes. I
Okay.
have quite an extensive shoe collection.
I've heard. Okay, okay, okay. How did you get into that?
I grew up not having things, and always seeing other people with like these fly shoes and things like that and Jordans, knowing that it was not a reality for me to have those. And so when I could begin to afford those things, that's what I wanted.
Mm, love it.
Um, yeah.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. So this is like a three-parter right here. So can you give us three recommendations? Give us a recommendation for a book, a movie, and a television series. What do you recommend for people?
Like right now,
Like, hey, this is your episode.
so
This is the makings of Katrina.
man. I gotta watch like gritty TV. Like that BMF is giving me life right now. I'm waiting for Power Book 2 to come back. Um, I like real gritty, like The Wire and all that sort of
Mm,
kind of stuff. So it was, let me see, TV series. So that's what I would go for, TV series, those two.
okay. Okay.
And as far as a book, I don't know.
I
I
love this
think
part.
I'm reading a couple of books right now, so I'm really, which one?
We can
But
come
I
back
think
to it.
you know what? I think my favorite book still is the one by Michael Bennett. Um, Things that make white people uncomfortable at the
Mm,
kitchen table.
mm. Okay, okay. We definitely gonna add this to the list.
And so that would be my book. And what was the last one?
Movie.
I did just watch that Creed 3,
Ah,
and it was actually pretty fire, to be perfectly honest.
okay, okay. You put something brand new out there.
Yeah, I mean, I just went to go see it when it came out, and it was great. I mean, other than that, I mean, I am a Whitney Houston lover. That's my person. And yes, I cried. I was in mourning about Nippy and all the things. So The Bodyguard, I probably watched it like 200 times, like literally. Um, Waiting to Exhale, everything Whitney Houston. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. See, you already you getting to some things already. Okay, okay. But thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had a magic phone and you can call three people, it doesn't matter if you met them before. It doesn't matter if they're real or fictional. Here or gone, but three people. Who three? Who will be the three that you'll call?
Listen, the first person I'm calling would have to be my brother.
Mm,
Um, hmm, yeah, because I don't think I still recovered from that, and it's been 10 years. Because it's like a part of you is gone, right? And you can't ever get it back when you lose a sibling. Um, and I was the person that got the phone call. And so um, it's kind of just like going through this life like without him, but like experiencing all these things and these plans we had to travel together. So I just want to just like call him and be like, bro, I just went here. It was crazy. You would love it. So definitely my brother. Um, and I would say the second person would actually be my grandpa because I felt like had my grandpa not passed away from a heart attack while on I-5, maybe my life wouldn't have been as hard as it ended up being. because the pillar in our family was like no longer there, and I think that it just made everything crumble. And even though the majority of both sides of my family, on my mom's side and my dad's side, is here, I feel like I don't have no family.
Mm.
Um, so,
uh,
and the last person would have to be Whitney. I'm calling Whitney. What, come on, Nippy, let's chop it up.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Katrina. Once again, for our listeners, our viewers, you're tuning in to the makings of Katrina with Everything Culture. Y'all make sure to like, leave a comment, share, let us know how you feel. Katrina will be back on the show. Already letting y'all know now. I'm learning more and more about them, so I'm so grateful to do so. So this has been an absolute pleasure,
Be
and
back.
we rolling. And our next question: what has been an impactful moment in your life?
I'd probably have to say the most impactful moment in my life is probably when my cousin was killed by the police, because it changed the whole trajectory of my life, actually. I went to school to be a nurse, and clearly, after she passed away, my life changed, and I started doing a lot of advocacy work and policy work with changing laws and things that I never thought that I would be doing. Um, and like doing police reform nationally and internationally. Like, life was threatened in Jamaica. That was kind of scary. And the U.S. ambassador had to assure my safety while I was there in
Mm,
Kingston. That was kind of crazy.
I
Um,
would agree.
yeah, that was kind of crazy. But I think that that was like a pivotal moment in my life. I don't think I would be doing any of that sort of kind of stuff had my cousin not been murdered. But I was going to be a hospice nurse because I do love people. I think that there's something special about being able to be there and assist people when they're in their final stages of life.
Transition. Yeah. Wow. Good. I don't know how y'all feeling, but I've been knowing Katrina a little bit over a year now, and I'm just like, this is my really getting to know you more. I'm happy to have this conversation with you. Seriously, thank you.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So, what's your theme song?
My
You when you getting up going and you rolling, you lacing up the sneaks, you getting everything together for the day. If your life was a sitcom, what would be the song that come on when you out making
you
it happen?
know, don't judge me. Um, but E40 function. I just be out here trying to
Ah,
function. I just be out here trying to function. That's it. I'm just out here trying to function.
I love it. Already.
I know it's crazy, but there's something about it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just.
No, I'm rocking with it. I'm rocking with it for sure. So, how do you define joy?
I don't know.
Mm,
I don't. I think I'm just now finally getting to a place where I might even be able to begin to experience joy. I deal with so much tragedy and heartache and pain. I don't know that I actually really know what that is.
mm, wow, wow. Whew. You know what? We're gonna pause right there and we're gonna come right back. Hey, what's going on? It's your host, Drake, be Drake with Everything Culture. Just want to butt in real quick and ask for y'all support. Now, y'all know I greatly appreciate all the love that you're showing listening to the show, but I have to ask, could y'all please leave us a review? And if you don't know how to leave a review, don't worry, I got you. You can go to Apple Podcasts, find Everythang Culture. Make sure to click on the name of the show. Scroll down to where you see ratings and reviews. Please hit that 5 stars or just leave your honest opinion. Then right under that, you can drop us a review. Leave a subject line. The catchier, the better. And just tell us how you feel. That goes a long way with supporting us. But let's say you don't have an iPhone. What should you do then? We got you with that too. You can go right over to Spotify, find Everything Culture again, and you just want to hit on the ellipses at the top right, and it will pop up where you can rate the show. They see, there you go. There you have it. Now make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and anywhere else you may listen to Everything Culture. We greatly appreciate your support. We love y'all, and let's get back to the conversation. Let's get back to the show. Peace. Back into it.
Yes, we are.
So, what artist, like, talent would you like to have, and who's that artist? So, what's the talent and who's the artist?
Singing, Whitney Houston, of course.
Okay.
Definitely. Well, if I could sing, listen, telling you.
See, I always say Luther not Luther. Let me bring
Little,
that back.
Big Luther.
See, I say I'm gonna go with big because I always had I've been big spirit, but it would have been, oh my gosh, why is their name slipping right in front of my?
Oh, what?
His daddy was in the OJs.
Oh, you talking about
You real black? Cause you look at you snapping like they gonna help us out.
Oh, but he's still alive. But the son,
I know,
yeah,
both these sons are done. Levert, yeah, Gerald Levert. I always wanted his voice, but
Gerald Levert. Oh yeah, that was
see, but you know, God didn't want to give us these voices for reasons, because you know, don't tell them what we'll be right now. I know I would, but we ain't talking about me. We're talking about Katrina. I
don't know, but in the back of my head, I'd have been like, I'd have been singing sweet nothings to these. I'd have been
See, and that's my thing. Just to do it, It's like having another type of superpower.
I think so, yes. Which is probably why I didn't get that.
Yeah. So, and that could be throwing a question. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
See the future.
Okay. Like clairvoyance, or just
just see it, but I can't change it or anything like that. But I could just see it.
That's deep. Okay. What privileges do you benefit from?
I am a Black woman. We don't come with privileges. And so I don't think I've been afforded any privileges. But I do believe that I have made a way to be able to access things which were not once available to me.
Thank you. And what areas in your life do you need to heal?
Everything. I would definitely say I am on a healing journey right now. I'm healing from brokenness, from that feeling of I was never enough or good enough. Healing from the pressures and the weights that I put on myself and that others put on me. So I think that those are like the biggest things that I'm healing from. I think that living life in broken pieces is not, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to have boundaries. And when people don't respect those boundaries, then that means they ultimately don't respect me. And so Yeah.
Thank you. Who represents your community of support?
Who represents my community of support? I don't feel like I had a community of support. I am the support. I've been that person supporting other people for a very long time. And it comes at a cost. And
Thank you. If you were wealthy beyond all means, money was not an issue, but you have to have one career. You got to do one thing. What would you do?
And everything else in the world was still the way it is.
Everything's still the way it is, but you had the wealth that you can do whatever you wanted to do, help out whoever you want to help. But you had to have one career doing something. But what would you want to do? Anything that you set your mind to?
I would still be doing advocacy work. I would still be. I think. You see, this is the problem. The problem is people get money, right?
Right.
And they forget who they were. They forget where they come from, and they forget just because you have something doesn't mean that everybody else has that, right? And it doesn't also mean that everybody wants something from you. And so I would still be fighting for the everyday individual that doesn't have what they need to thrive. And so I would probably still be doing what I'm doing now, doing police reform work, advocating for folks with food insecurity. If you're not doing, the last will be first and the first will be last. So, and he said what he said, he meaning God. So I'm just saying, so helping folks is what you should be doing. You cannot take it with you. You can't take any of that money with you. So why not help people?
I love that. Love that. Once again, there's no right or wrong answers here on the Makings of UK. It's the Makings of Katrina right here. But I love that response right there. Let me tell you that. And thank you again. So, when did you realize you were different?
I always knew I was different. I didn't understand why I was different. But I always knew I was different. And it comes at a cost being different. People they rarely understand you for being different. And also, there's a certain sort of kind of loneliness that comes with that. And so I've always felt alone. I've always felt like I never had like a tribe. Like I never felt like I had like people. I never felt like I had a family and all my family's here. And I just knew that it just was what it was.
Thank you. I know building community is something different, but I empathize heavily. So let's say that. So this question here is would you rather or either or? I think we'll go with would you rather. Okay. Would you rather go back in time and speak to your younger self, or have your future self and come and talk to you now?
I'd rather go back and talk to my younger self.
So what age would you go to?
I'd probably go back to 5th grade.
Yeah. 10.
And so I was probably about 9 or so, 9 or 10 years.
And with 9-year-old, 5th grade Katrina, listen to 40-year-old Katrina now.
Probably. Because I go back right to that moment when I realized, because I was at 5th grade graduation. I was the only kid at 5th grade graduation that had no parents. Nobody was there. And I never forgot that. I've never forgotten that. And it was the way I felt. It's always just kind of stuck with me, you know. And so I go back and talk to like my 5th grade self and just be like, yeah, this kind of sucks, but you're all right. You're going to make it. You're going to be something great. You might not know it now. And even though it hurts and you feel like that right now, you're going to be all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that one kind of stung a little
I
bit.
know. Let me tell you, you know, we just had this conversation last night with my community group on TikTok, and someone was like, "Brother, something happened to me in kindergarten," and someone like, "You still holding on to it?" I'm like, "It's not like I choose to hold on to it, you know, but it did impact me a certain way." And that's why I get the question: is that when did you realize you were different? It was right at that moment. It was like, okay, I didn't know that was a problem, you know, I didn't know this thing, but I felt different. So thank you for sharing that moment with us. You know, we always offer hugs, like, but let me tell you, it's always helpful.
That one kind of, I don't know, that one kind of pinched my heart a little bit.
Yeah. It's the makings of you. Welcome to Everythang Culture. Some people get on me about that, but this is what we do. We got to get to know one another. So thank you again. So how do you relax?
Is there such a thing? Vacations. Okay. Vacations. And you know what's so crazy? I like to go on vacations just because I can take a load off and, you know, my phone's still going to ring. I just got to decide whether I'm going to answer it or not. But even just coming home without my phone and just watching TV, not having to cook nothing for nobody, not having to cater to nobody, not having to do anything for anybody would be relaxation.
Yeah, I hope you send this to your people. You know, if anybody in your near area, let them know, hey, you deserve it. That's all I'm letting y'all know. She deserves it. Okay. All right. Okay. My favorite question: if you can have a meal at the snap of your fingers, anything you can eat, anything you want, what would it be, and who would prepare it for you? Now, it only could be one meal, but whatever in that meal, that's you. But anytime, okay, you know, I'm in the mood for this again. Okay, this is what I want.
And the whole spread?
Whole spread, yes.
I gotta go with my soul food. I gotta have my greens, my baked macaroni and cheese, my yams. I need like Thanksgiving on demand sometimes. That's basically what I need. I need the dressing, not stuffing.
Say that.
Dressing. Hey. There's a difference.
Hey, we'll take it back to season 1.
You know,
of Everythang Culture. That was a legit question. We used to ask, "Do you eat dressing or stuffing?" And people used to be like, "It's the same thing." No, it's not.
That's just like saying pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. Same thing. It's not. There is a difference, a big one.
She made me feel good. You from a certain area and culture, you know, so, you know, I'm Southern, you know, and we ain't talking about that right now. Y'all, we talking about Katrina, but continue.
Fried chicken. Real fried chicken. Not that stuff you get at KFC and Popeyes. It ain't, you know, I need crunch to my chicken. I need seasoning to my chicken, okay?
You understand?
Real fried chicken. I haven't found anybody that can fry chicken better than me yet, but I'm going to, you might.
Okay, well, you know, we can do it in the Drake household. We step it up.
You know, Southern, so I'm thinking maybe.
Hey, you know how I do it. I'll bring something out, test the skills. That's all. I'm all for
I mean,
that.
but my dad's side, they Southern folk. They just had to, move after, they hung my daddy. He survived, otherwise I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up, looking at my daddy with a ligature mark around his neck from being hung. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
In Arkansas. So
I was gonna ask what part of the South, and we all connected. We all have some type of connection.
yeah, then they migrated to Kansas City, Kansas, and then this way.
Wow. Okay, so would you cook the whole spread? Would it just be you?
Listen, yeah, if I want it done right, I'm gonna have to cook it. But I'm convinced there's somebody that can do it some justice. That's not me, so I can just lay back with my feet up.
See,
I want to lay back with my feet up.
So how everything connected together. She still need that relaxation, but
Yeah. But I gotta find the person that's gonna cook it where I'm not gonna be disappointed.
I feel you. So Katrina, we got a few more questions.
All right. Let's go.
Right, okay. We're gonna close it out nice. All right. How would you want people to remember you?
I would want people to remember me just being an authentic, loving person, because that's who I am. I keep it 100, good or bad. Sometimes I can sugarcoat it for you, but you're still gonna be real. But I love people, and the hard part about loving people, and being a giver is people tend to abuse that. And then you're just like, I'm not going to give anything to anybody anymore. But you have to realize that's not you, that's them. And so I often have to remind myself, you don't stop doing for people because they are terrible. You still have to be authentic to who you are. If you call me in the middle of the night and you need me, I'm going to answer my phone, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to show up. Whether it be getting you out the trunk of your car, helping you with your rent, doing an abusive situation. Like my friends are my friends. If I call you a friend, it don't matter what you do, whether you are, in the life, you know what I'm saying, doing sex work, or you are a senator. If we friends, we friends. Because at the end of the day, we all people. Those are just things you do for work or whatever. And there's no better thing that a friend could do is the ability to be there for somebody when they need them. So that's how I want somebody to remember me. She's gonna show up. She's gonna be there.
And I love it. Okay, our next question. What changes do you want to see in your culture?
I would like for us to actually support one another. Okay, I'm about to get real.
Camera right there.
Listen, Black women have long supported Black men, stood beside them, behind them, been their helpmate. But can somebody explain to me why we can't get Black men to support Black women the way Black women support Black men? That's what I would like to see change. That's what I want to see different. I would like for Black people as a whole to stop being in this oppression Olympics with one another and actually come together. We got this no snitching. We got all these things that is really fucking up our community. I'm sorry I had to, and enough is enough. And so those are the things that I would like to see changed in our culture, because it's killing us.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely agree. I wish I had an answer.
I mean, I had to get real.
No, we love the real. Like we keep saying, I don't think you had to get real. I think you've been real through this whole conversation. So
that part just bugs me. I don't understand my black men.
As being a black man, I can tell you, I can't give you that answer in total. Only thing I can do is be responsible for my actions going forward.
Absolutely.
But I do appreciate you coming here on Everythang Culture, and it's so unique that you asked that question. You responded that way. Because the last question we have here for you is, Katrina, how can we support you? How can our community, how can Everythang Culture, Drake, and everybody else that support Drake and me, how can we support you?
I would say by just showing up and being intentional about what you're doing in your community. Don't wait for something to happen to decide that you're going to actually begin to want to make changes in your community. If you see something wrong, then if there's nobody else addressing that, then I guess you need to address that. I think that oftentimes we're waiting for somebody else to do a thing, but maybe we're the ones that's supposed to be doing the thing. I think that for me, what support looks like for me is making my job easier by actually, pressing upon folks to do what they've been elected to do, what they've been hired to do, and being accountable to yourself for what you are or are not doing.
There we have it. We there for it. Trust me. Hopefully right here, this conversation is reaching someone, which I say hopefully, but I know it is. And when we say thank you. So you did it. You've done it. Congratulations, Katrina. You made it through the Makings of You. You have completed the Makings of Katrina with Everythang Culture. So if the people are looking for you and you're trying to be found, where can they find you? Social media wise, emails, anything in that nature.
You want to reach out to me, JohnsonTrina64 at yahoo.com. I mean, if you do an in-depth Google search, you'll find me. My number is posted. I'm not going to tell you it because my phone rings all the time anyway. But you'll find me on Facebook under my name, Katrina Johnson. I'm out there. Okay. On Instagram, TreenBean17. Real close people call me Treen Bean.
I like that name right there.
Yeah, Treen Bean. Yep.
Okay. Well, there we have it. So I want to tell you thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we look forward to having you back in the future because you touched on a lot of things I did not know, and especially on some conversations we intend to have in the near future. But, for all of our listeners, all of our viewers, all of our supporters and followers, we want to say thank y'all deeply from our hearts, from Everythang Culture. Y'all know y'all can find us anywhere you listen to a podcast. And it's Everythang. It's no I. It's a THANG. So when we say thank y'all, God bless, and peace.